Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird and we've got something a little bit different for you today. Angry Bird talks tier list. I've not seen this done up to this point, so we are going to rank the divisions in a tier list and we're going to find out once and for all what is the best division in Steel Division 2. Now, we're going to do something slightly bit different to the usual kind of tier list that you might see, which would be just sort of based off my opinions. And I actually enlisted the help of not one, not two, but 6 pros from the Steel Division 2 competitive scene. And I asked them all to do a tier list and send it over to me. And then I've combined the results all together and we've got a tier list based on those combined results. So I'm hoping that will introduce some more accuracy to the placing of divisions in the tier list, because we won't just be relying on one person's opinion. We'll be relying on 6 top competitive pros opinions. So this should make things a little bit more reliable and a little bit interesting as well. We'll find out in a little while. So before we start, I just want to look at the categories. So the tier list is going to be pretty standard. It's based off having an S tier, A tier, B tier and C tier. And these are the kind of categories that I gave across to the pros for them to place the divisions. It's based on 1v1 and I advise them that it's based on tournament play, where you can pick and ban divisions and you kind of know the map in advance. But the way that the ranked queue works on Steel Division 2, it's kind of the same. So you can sort of apply it across to that situation. But yes, the most important thing is it's based on 1v1. So let's just have a very quick look at the categories. So S tier, this is the top tier. These are the powerhouse divisions. These are the divisions that in tournament play you must ban them, or you're going to pick them. Because they are that good. They are strong on all maps and they're strong against all divisions, so you always want to ban and pick these guys. A tier, they are kind of the best of the rest. They maybe not best of the rest, they're like a step down from S tier, so they are always strong, or they're going to be strong against the majority of divisions, and they're going to be strong on the majority of maps. And as a result, they are often banned or picked in tournament play. B tier, this is kind of where it's the best of the rest. It's kind of these are the good and decent divisions. These are the divisions you're going to play if you don't have access to your S and A tier divisions in tournament play, that is. They're strong on some maps and they're strong against some divisions. And then C tier, these are your situational divisions. Often they're really banned and they're kind of not very often picked. But that doesn't mean to say that they're bad divisions. It just means that they're strong on certain maps, or they're strong against certain divisions. And yeah, do not discount the divisions in C tier. This is not us saying they are rubbish divisions, never use those divisions, never play those divisions. What we're saying is these are situational divisions, so they're good in certain situations, but they're not necessarily as good in every situation or the majority of situations. So they are the categories there for you in advance. Now, I did put together my own tier list, but in the end I decided to exclude that from the results. And what I'm going to show you is the tier list of the 6 pros all combined into one. And we're going to have a look at the simple version. This is the simple version up front. So here we have it. This was put together by me based on the tier list completed by the 6 pros. And that was Gonzo, Sean, Here Robert, Soloing Pixie, Frublord and Lolly. So thank you to you guys for helping me out with this. I'm hoping this is going to be informative for the community and prompt a hell of a lot of discussion. But yes, here we have it. S tier. We have 4 divisions in S tier. Third Guards, Tank Corps, 78 Sturm, 26th Guards Rifles, and Panzerlehr. So very interesting. I think the community as a whole have known that 3rd Guards 78th and 26th have been sort of at the top of the division list for quite a long while, really. But it's interesting that Panzerlehr are in there, and I think more recently they've become stronger, and I wouldn't say stronger and stronger, but they're more recently known to be a very strong division. I don't really want to go through these one by one, because we have got some more information coming up soon as well, but this is the simplistic view of the tier list. The first 4 divisions in tier B, so that's the 1st Polish Infantry Division, the Armia Krajowa, the 5th Panzer, and the 29th Guards Tank Corps, they were right on the border between A tier and B tier. They were literally on the border between A and B tier. So I made the decision to drop them down into B tier. So anyone who's on that borderline goes down into the tier below. So they are very strong, and actually this simplistic tier list here is ordered in terms of strength within each tiers. So the if we look at A tier, the Fallschirmpanzer Hermann Göring is ordered as a stronger division than the 14th Infantry, and then the weakest division in A tier is the 44th Guards right at the end. Okay, so that's your simplistic view, but I went a little bit further than that. I went a step further. I wasn't satisfied with just this simple view. This is good if you just want a quick look. So say you're playing in the league, coming up, playing in Steel Division League, and you just want a quick look at the top divisions to remind yourselves who you might want to ban in the matchup. But I've got a better one for you. At least I think it's better. So let's have a look at the enhanced tier list. And here we have it. So this is based on exactly the same data. Nothing's changed. This is the Steel Division 2 1v1 tier list put together by myself. And this is obviously before Fate of Finland DLC. It's not out yet, but obviously if you're looking back, that's the point of time you want to look to. This is a tier list prior to the Fate of Finland DLC. And like I said before, thanks to Gonzo, Sean, Herobert, Solo Wing Pixie, Frublord, and Lolly, who put this together. My own tier list is not included in these results, so this is purely based off of those 6 pros that are mentioned. And what's the difference between this one and the simple view? Well, this one plots those divisions exactly on a chart as to their strength within each tier, and you can actually see that as well. And we also plot on the variance of that division. So if we look at the first 2 divisions, so in S tier we have 3rd Guards Tank Corps and 78 Sturm, and they are plumb at the top of S tier. And you'll notice there's no little bars coming off of them, and that's because every single pro placed them in S tier. There was no variance. No one placed them below S tier. Every single pro put them in S tier. So therefore, you know, they are well and truly in S tier. Whereas if we take a look at 44th Guards, which is the last division in A tier, so it's kind of almost middle of the pack as well. So 44th Guards, they actually have a very wide variance, a very long upper bar and a lower bar coming off of that division, and that signals that the pros, they kind of ranked that division quite differently. So one of them ranked them in S tier, and I think the remaining results were A and B tier. I'm not quite sure if somebody did rank them in C tier, but there was quite a wide variation of results on the 44th Guards, and that's shown on this graph. So there, I think what you can kind of take from this, there's a couple of things that you can take from this. The pros have ranked them differently, and obviously there's going to be some variation in how people put together tier lists. You know, Herobert will not put together the same kind of tier list as Sean, who won't put together the same kind of tier list as Gonzo, as Solo and Pixie, as Frublord, as Lolly, as you, as me, as as me, as you, we're all going to have different opinions. So we're all going to put together a different tier list, and we might interpret the categories slightly different. So that's going to have an effect on where people place them, just your own opinions. But then also, it may be that Gonzo in particular, who ranked them in S tier, perhaps could be slightly ahead of the game with 44th guards. Potentially he could be overvaluing them, or he could be kind of ahead of the game, and there's been some changes that have really helped out 44th guards. He's using them very well and he's finding great success with them, and so he's ranking them very highly, whereas potentially other pros aren't ranking them, as highly. Me personally, when I made my own tier lists, I made my own before we did this. I actually put 44th guards in C tier, and I think that was purely because I just didn't have enough knowledge about the division. So I ranked them very low, but clearly, I was making a mistake there when it comes to 44th guards. And actually, although they're an A tier division, at times, potentially, they could play at the same level as those S tier divisions. Or if you're having a bad day, you're on a bad map, you're in a bad matchup, they can play just as bad as the C tier divisions. So that's what kind of the variance is about. And so I think if we look at A tier again, if we look at the 14th Infantry, they have quite a small variance between the way that the pros rank them. So almost everyone ranked them as an A tier division, and whereas the 25th Panzergren at the end of those 4 divisions there, they were quite widely varied. So, and I think what that means is that consistently the 14th Infantry is consistently an A tier division, whereas the 25th Panzergren can sometimes be, in some matches, can be very good at even S tier divisions, but then in some matches and some maps can be quite bad in B tier or C tier. So I think that's the kind of way that I'm interpreting this, and obviously the difference in those bars is meaning the variation in how those divisions can play. So what do you take away from this? So I think we now have a decent tier list of how the divisions are all ranked. So if you're coming up in Steel Division 2 League Season 2, it's right around the corner, and you're looking for a list of divisions to kind of pick from and ban from, then hopefully you'll find this useful. Hopefully you can use this as a guide to what are the best divisions and the worst divisions generally speaking, and then pick and ban from that. But obviously you've got to be aware of differences in maps, differences in how a division will perform when it's up against a other particular division, those kind of things. You've got to be aware of that. And if you're a new player, what I would say is stick to the divisions at the top end of this tier list, the S and the top A tier divisions, and really kind of hone your craft or learn the game, become more experienced with those divisions, because it is much easier getting to grips with the game when you've got better units and better tools at your disposal. I would definitely say for the moment avoid B tier, avoid C tier divisions. This is if you're trying to learn and improve at the game. Once you're at a certain standard, definitely go check those divisions out, and they are a lot of fun, and they're not necessarily bad divisions. I'm definitely not saying they're bad divisions. We saw in the first official Steel Division 2 Championship, Lolly beat Gonzo with Kuruk 559. So that is like the 4th worst division on this list. But Lolly beat like one of the best players in the game with that division. So it doesn't, I'm not saying that is the 4th worst division in the game always. I'm just saying on balance overall, that's at the back end of the division list. Hopefully you've got that now. Right, hopefully you've got something from this. I definitely want it to spark more discussion. Lots of people always ask, what is the best division, and here's your answer. Certainly I would say joint best, 3rd Guards Tank Corps and 78 Sturm. Joint worst, Jaeger and 2nd Guards Tank Corps. So to be fair, that's interesting that at least there's one Soviet and one German division at the very top, and one Soviet and one German division at the very bottom. Right, thanks very much for watching, guys. You know, jump into my Discord. The link is down below in the description. Chat about this. Definitely more discussion. If you want to know about the particular divisions and why they're ranked in this way, it is better to chat to the pros and ask them. And some of them hang out in my Discord. Some of them, well, pretty much all of them will be in the Steel Division League Discord, and pretty much all of them will be in the official Steel Division 2 Discord. All of those links are down below in my description. So if you want to jump into the Discord, chat with the pros, they always are very helpful at answering questions. And if you want to ask them about decks, if you put a divisional deck together and you want to ask them, you know, is this a good deck? Jump into those Discords, and there are deck channels out there for you to ask the pros, and they will help you. You know, everyone in this community I found really wants more players to come in and improve as players, because it helps the game out, and all of the pros love playing the game. So the more players we have, the better. Like I say, hopefully this is going to help you. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I am Angry Bird. I will see you next time.